All right, my name is Bermon Painter, and I'm a user experience designer for American City Business Journals. And I want to share some thoughts with you tonight on being a jack of all trades, a master of many. Now, the specialists of the world, those that imprison themselves pursuing impossible perfection, like to refer to the curious generalist as a jack of all trades, a master of none. They're incorrect. The pairing of jack of all trades, master of none, is artificial and incomplete. The expression in full is jack of all trades, master of none, though oftentimes better than master of one. Now, when I think of a jack of all trades, I think of the Renaissance period, where people like Da Vinci were well educated and excelled in a wide variety of subjects and fields. It was a time when human beings were considered empowered, limitless in their capabilities for development, and they believed they could embrace all knowledge and develop their capabilities as fully as possible. Now, they didn't limit themselves to meaningless specialization. They sought to develop skills in all areas of knowledge, physical development, social accomplishments, and in the arts. Now, I'm also reminded of a quote from Robert A. Heinlein. He was an American science fiction writer. And he said, "Human beings should be able to change a diaper, plan an invasion, butcher a hog, design a building, con a ship, write a sonnet, balance accounts, build a wall, set a bone, pitch manure, program a computer, cook a tasty meal, fight efficiently, die gallantly. Specialization is for insects." Now, Heinlein believed that individualism didn't go hand in hand with ignorance and specialization. He believed that an appropriate level of adult competence was achieved through a wide-ranging education. It didn't matter if this occurred in the house or in the home or not. Now, I firmly believe that anybody can become a jack of all trades. Do you think Steve Jobs is a better programmer than his VP of engineering? I don't think so. I mean, he may be. If you were to rummage through Steve Jobs' personal library, do you think you would find it full of self-help books, books on management style, books on programming? No, probably not. Try the classics. He reads about life and effective purposes for living. Now, you can be a master of many, and I want you to realize tonight that being a master isn't the same as being perfect. A generalist recognizes that they can apply the 80-20 rule. For example, 20% of the moves in a sport account for 80% of the scoring. 20% of a language's vocabulary will enable you to communicate and understand at least 80%. You might be thinking this sounds kind of like mediocrity. It's not at all. It's nothing like that. Generalists can take the condensed study up to, but not beyond the point of rapidly diminishing returns. So there's this 5% comprehension difference between the focused generalist who studies a language systematically for 2 years versus a specialist who studies a language for 10 years without the urgency typical of those that claim that something takes a lifetime to learn. It's just not so. So based on my experience, it's possible to become world-class in almost any skill, in almost any field in less than a year. Now, I've had this experience studying design, studying foreign languages, and you find things that you're interested in. Focus on that skill for a year and see how much you can learn. Once you've attained that 20% mastery in that skill, move on to something related. Continue this process, constantly looking for skills related to each other, and then slowly branch out, attaining 20% mastery in each one of these skills. Now, after a number of years, you'll have attained a mastery in a wide variety of skills. You'll be more knowledgeable and be a greater resource than those that specialize in just one skill. Now, we live in a first world economy, and even with the lowest class income, all of our physical necessities are met. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it means that we need more success. Lack of constant intellectual stimulation will drive to depression and emotional bankruptcy. So generalizing prevents this, but over-specialization guarantees it. So those that would label you a jack of all trades, master of none, are seldom satisfied with themselves. The specialist who is one who spends decades making imperceptible changes, while the generalist consistently measures improvement in quantum leaps. So it is the big picture generalist who will predict, innovate, and rise to power faster. So in closing, I want to share a description of Alfred Lee Loomis. He changed the course of World War II with just his personal science experiments. Loomis did not conform to the conventional measure of a great scientist. He was too complex to categorize. He was a contradiction in terms. So I want you to be empowered be limitless in your capacity for development. I want you to be too complex to categorize. Thank you.